Vatos, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Memphis coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. So today in this video, we are discussing the differences between the 2023 Street Glide and the 2024 Street Glide. What are the differences? What are the key features that you're not getting in the 2023 that you are getting in the 2024? Maybe you're out there and you're probably, weighing your options. Should I spend the extra for the 24? Or should I save the money for the 2023? And I believe, if you're on the market looking for a touring model and you have the opportunity to, pick the 2024, I believe it's worth the money. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, these videos are not scripted in any way, and this is just me, going off of the top of my head. So this one retails at the 2024 Billiard Gray with the chrome finish. Retails or market suggested retail price is $26,000. All right, and you guys are probably thinking, wow, that's a big jump from $22,000. But keep in mind the 2023s had a surcharge of $1,000, and you also have some rider enhancements, rider safety enhancements, or rider assists that are standard in the 2024 that you do not get in the 2023 touring models, notably ABS. So let's just get into that real quick because we are in the pricing. You could obviously see everything right here is optional. Okay, everything is optional. You also, of course, have what is it? Here it is, RDRS, which is 1,100. So if if you were to add that onto the retail price, then of course that puts you at, what is that, $24,000? How much did I say? Also, of course, it's the ABS option. So you don't have ABS standard, and you don't have a lot of the rider RDRS stuff that you get on the 2024. So if you were to add those $2,000 plus the market, the surcharge, which is $3,000, so you're at $25,000. And am I correct? Is my math correct? 22 plus the surcharge, 23 plus. Yes, $25,000. So you're only $1,000 off. And yes, I get it. A lot of people leave comments. I don't want the ABS. I don't want the rider assist. A lot of the folks that leave comments about having to pay, of course, those fees. Then I guess, hey, save yourself $5,000 and get the 2023, but you still have more features on top of that. I mean, it's just icing on top of the cake when it comes to everything that I'm about to mention, of course. So let's start with the overall design. Of course, this is a new 2024. This is the CVO styling that we got in 2023. And you could, obviously see the bike looks fantastic, all right? The back wing fairing has been left unchanged for many, many years, okay? So this is the Mount Rushmore touring models. And the 2024 is the new era. And that's probably what Harley's calling them, new era touring models. And you can see the styling of it. I really believe the 2024s look fantastic. They look amazing. I'm a huge fan with the new fairing, the new batwing fairing. I think it looks beautiful. All right, that's just me. You guys can leave your comments down below. How do you guys feel about it? Do you guys prefer the old batwing fairing? I really like the overall styling. I like the redesigned fuel tank. Of course, the chopped saddlebags. You guys can see that right over here. They're chopped on the Street Glide. Of course, they're the old, I believe these were 2014 to 2023. They updated the saddlebags. They changed them a little bit. So these are the Mount Rushmore saddlebags, and they also look good. I really like the way they look. Of course, you no longer have the special options, which is the extended saddlebags. But I'm pretty sure the aftermarket community will adapt in some way. Maybe we'll see extended saddlebags in 2025. Who knows when? They might bring them back. I don't know. So that really depends on you. If you really like the old school look, which is, just the rounder edges, I guess, not as rigid as the new 2024s. But as far as the styling, it's been left unchanged for the majority of probably 2 to 3 decades. It's been a while since Harley has done anything to the Street Glide. They have updated the frame in 2009, which improved a lot of the components of the bike, the handling, of course, and The suspension has also been improved over the years, but the 2024 has also had some tweaks. All right, so if you guys seen Blockhead's video, they touched upon the front suspension has been improved, new springs. They also touched upon the rear end has been retweaked, so you do have an additional, I believe, 3 inches of travel on top of course, the 2023. So you have an extended shock, will improve the handling and the comfort of the bike. So you have an additional 3 inches of travel in the rear, and they retweaked the mounting of the rear fender, so you still sit at about the same height. So, which is also an improvement, all right, for somebody that's as short as me, 5'7", that really wants better suspension and still be able to flat foot the bike, which is fantastic. So this is also another plus. So not only is the styling new, you also have a new wheel design. I'm a fan of the Enforcer wheels. I like the Enforcer wheels, but I really like what Harley did with these new 5-spoke wheels. They look they look great. It's got a little bit of a hint of a Lowrider S / I guess whatever this little new piece that they have on there. It looks great. I'm a fan of the wheels. They look fantastic. So of course, handling, new styling, and I guess staying with the bottom end of the bike, you have a 117 liquid cooled V-twin Milwaukee 8. Of course, you also have a Milwaukee 8 in the 2023, but this is a 107, so there's a huge difference between the 107 and the 117. I've always mentioned that the 114, 117 is not a significant change because they use the same crank. Pretty much all the bottom end is still the same. The only change is really the pistons and the cylinders. But from the 107 to the 117, that is a noticeable and a significant upgrade. It's a huge upgrade, considering that the 2024 are, like I said, liquid cooled. Now, it's not fully liquid cooled, it's head cooled. I always have to say that because this is it's still an air cooled V-twin with liquid cooled heads. On the 2023, you have the same. It's an air cooled with oil cooled engine. Okay, you have a fan assisted cooler down over here, and that circulates the oil from the engine or from the cam, the bottom end, to of course the cooler, and then that circulates back into of course your heads, and that cools down and lubricates your engine that way. So like I said, the liquid cooled heads, they're just the majority of the cooling is in the rear cylinder. All right, so the oil cooler, which is what you can see right here, this line goes up here, goes into your heads, cools down the rear cylinder, and then that passes through, and then it routes through the front head, which could potentially still have sufficient cooling, and then of course it runs down to your radiator or your cooler, fan assisted of course, and then that cools it down, and then it just circulates from the front to the rear. So that's going to add more performance. It's going to add more comfort because of course that rear cylinder is right underneath your butt in your crotch area. So you probably don't need the heat deflectors that we see in the specials, and I believe the STs, because that rear cylinder is going to be running cooler. So it's going to add, like I said, performance. It's going to add life to the engine because it's not running hot all the time, like it could be with the oil cooled V-twin. And then like I said, I think there was one more point. I guess rider comfort. If you're riding in triple degree weather, and if you ridden a twin cam in summertime in triple degree, man, I can't say it anymore, triple degree weather, then you guys would obviously know, the difference between this and the other ones. Same thing with myself. I own an Evo, and I could tell the difference when it comes to the heat. Summertime when I'm riding my Evo and when I'm riding my Milwaukee 8. All right, my rear cylinder on my Evo likes to hit 440 degrees at the top end at triple degree weather, summertime. So having that liquid cooled head will improve, like I said, performance, the life of the engine, and the rider comfort. So 117, it's a huge, like I said, it's a huge a difference, and you get the additional cooling. So moving on up to the fairing, this has been improved. Unfortunately, there has been some recall issues with the fairing. I believe Harley has, I believe they've fixed it. I don't know what they did, but supposedly, from what I understand, they added another anchor to the Batwing fairing because of the recalls. As far as I know, from what I understand, I really believe that Harley did the proper thing by recalling it, because technically it only happens when you're hitting 100 miles per hour and up. And as my history with dealers and manufacturers working as a service writer, if I were to hear a complaint about an issue with the vehicle at 100 miles per hour, you're pretty much I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying, as my history, I wouldn't address a warranty issue that involves those high speeds. All right, that wouldn't be a concern for the manufacturer. From my own history, like I said, I wouldn't address this as a warranty issue, because you're not supposed to be doing 100 miles per hour on the road. And like I said, I think it's neat that Harley addressed it and they had a solution for it. So I don't know what they're doing in 2024s, but I'm pretty sure they've improved it. I just saw a Laidlaw's video where there is a governor at 100 miles per hour, so maybe maybe they tuned it so you don't hit those speeds. I don't know. You guys can leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, you also have LEDs for your turn signals now, so that's another huge improvement based off of what Harley's been doing for the last 10-15 years. LEDs have been available for some time now, and Harley has now finally adapted. This is also something that I mentioned in my other videos, where you have the El Diablo, which was released last year, and those were released with bulbs, not even LEDs. But they do offer it in their Screaming Eagle catalog, where you could actually pay the extra money and get LEDs. So it's nice that we are now having LEDs all the way around. Same thing with the rear. You guys can take a look as well. You have bulbs once again. I mean, it's finally Harley. Okay, so now you have LEDs. You're more visible. It's a little bit safer. I like being seen. So as far as you can see, you could also notice that the saddlebags already touched upon that, but since we're at this angle, you could also see that the display has also been enlarged by a massive amount. Okay, so I believe this is a 6-inch display TFT on the 2023s, and you have a 12-inch display on the 2024s. A huge difference. Of course, you could also notice that there's no more analog gauges on the 2024s. You could also modify them. They have Skyline OS. There is some issues. If you guys seen the $1 Million Bogan video, you will notice that there is some Skyline issues. There's some connectivity issues, and like I mentioned in my Road Glide video, Harley could probably resolve this issue with either firmware updates, which is something that it's going to need tweaking. There's going to be glitches. There's going to be issues with these new products. Harley's not known for technology. You guys saw the Revolution Max. They were having some electrical issues, sensor issues. I mean, there are some issues, of course, but I believe Harley's going to be able to resolve it. If not, maybe in 2025 they could probably improve the processor or something to improve the Skyline OS that they have in the 2024s. But as far as the display, I think it looks fantastic. Large 12-inch display on the 2024s. So like I said, all of this is just icing on the cake once you factor in the RDRS. So overall, I really like what Harley did with the Street Glide. Moving on, of course, to the electronics of the Street Glide. Since we're talking about the Skyline OS, they have riding modes in the 2024 models. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Riding modes. So you could pretty much alter the throttle lag in these bikes, right? And it's not changing the performance in the engine. It's changing the throttle sensitivity, and it's changing the throttle lag on your bike. All right, so that's what these throttle by wire bikes are. All right, so you're able to modify it to what you believe you need, depending on the situation. Maybe you want rain mode, which is kind of like towing mode, and you're riding two up, so you don't want your passenger to be thrown around, when you're riding. Sport mode, if you want to switch over, you could. I mean, if you're having a situation where you got to get out of, maybe you have maybe you're stuck between big rigs, you got to switch over to the sport mode, made that throttle response a little bit more responsive, then you could do that. So there's a lot of little features here that, of course, the Harley's promoting. You have the Skyline OS, we touched upon that. We have the aerodynamics, the improved overall design of the Batwing fairing and the bike itself. You have the reduced weight. That's another key feature that you want to note when you're looking at the 2024 and the 2023. So I believe it's a reduced weight about 20 pounds, but that really, that could be a con in itself, because you don't have the robust ABS material that you get out of the 2023. I recently bought some OEM saddlebags from my Lowrider S, and they're about 7 pounds without the lids. So you're losing about, potentially, I say about 20 pounds of ABS material that that you're not getting in the 2023. So I'm guessing they're cutting that back on the saddlebags and on the fairing. They could, if you guys seen some of the metric bikes, they have ABS plastic rear fender. I don't know as far as the 2024. This could be metal, but if you were to ask me, who knows, maybe the side covers, they're probably plastic as well. If you were to ask me, I think that's a little bit of a con. Harley could have, of course, they could have added lithium-ion batteries to these, and then they would have been able to reduce the weight by that much. But anyways, like I mentioned, overall, everything Harley's been doing with the 2024s, everything's been touched upon. Moving down to, of course, the rider enhancements. This is another big one. This is where the majority of the money that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is. You have all of this, all of these rider assists included with the 2024. Like I said, this alone right here on the rider assists, is $2,000 worth of product. All right, and one more last, of course, difference between the 2024 and the 2023. You have a new trans vent cover. If you guys seen my videos, Trask makes a checkmate vented cover, and this is, of course, to address the blow-by issue that you have with these Milwaukee 8s. They have big displacement. All right, so there's crankcase pressure, and you have to relieve that pressure. And if you guys know, of course, Harley has always had the breather bolts at your intake, and that, of course, shoots oil, hot oil, into your intake, into your jugs, and onto your pistons, all that, all of that good stuff. So with the 2023s, pretty much the last 30 years, they've been venting the blow-by into, of course, the intake. So they changed that in the 2024. So you guys can see it now right here. Harley now has a trans cover that's vented. So, you also get that on top of everything that I've mentioned. You no longer have hot oil going into your engine and, just affecting the performance and potentially longevity. You're going to have, of course, some buildup on your heads, and it's going to affect the performance and, just all kinds of stuff from that. All right. If you guys live in California, you guys know that we have a different blend in California because of it. So having the hot oil and all that stuff vent through the trans cover is a plus. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I gotta go take care of this little brat over here. High risk, get out there and ride later.